F an intro. Let's get straight into it. For our first fight, we have Jamie Lynn Horth versus Vanessa Demopoulos. If you are new to the channel, once again, we don't bet on women's fights because they are too 50-50. But, to keep it simple, Horth looks more like a man. She's taller by 5 inches and has a 7-inch reach advantage. I'll take Horth for the win. For our second fight, we have Phil Rowe versus Ange Looser. Honestly, we don't even have to think hard about this one either. Do you see what I see? Just look at their last names. This motherfucker Ange's last name is literally Loser. But if you would like to hear some facts, Ange hasn't even had a fucking finish since 2016. At least Rowe's last 2 losses were close decisions, and before that he went on a 3-fight knockout streak. Give me a break. I got Phil Rowe winning. Ricky Simon versus Cameron Smotherman, and I got Simon winning. Smotherman only has 2 fights in the UFC, with his last one being a loss. On the other hand, Simon has way more experience, is coming off of a knockout, and even has the Merab Dvalishvili win boosting him. Do you think that Simon, who has an official win over the bantamweight GOAT, is going to lose to this newbie? I don't think so. Next, we have Cody Durden versus Jose Ochoa. This one is a little tricky because Durden is fucking ass. Meanwhile, Ochoa has only had 1 fight in the UFC, and that was a loss. To be fair, though, Ochoa only lost to another undefeated prospect, and he is still younger and hungrier than Durden. I believe it is as simple as that. Jose Ochoa for the win. Now we have Malcolm Wellmaker versus Chris Moutinho, and oh my god. When the fuck was the last time you've seen minus 2,000 odds? Usually I don't like these big odd gaps, but I believe Malcolm Wellmaker is actually the real deal. Bro is the definition of hungry, and he said he even quit his job for this, so honestly he can't afford to lose or else he's back to construction. Not only that, who the fuck is this Walmart joker on the right? Moutinho hasn't even fought in the UFC yet, and he has 6 losses. Malcolm Wellmaker is a lock, but you ain't getting no money from that. Michael Chiesa versus Court McGee. Battle of the Uncles. Let's try not to fall asleep during this one. I'ma keep it real. McGee is past his time, and this dude could only beat another motherfucker in his 40s. I would say the same about Chiesa, with his last wins being the zombie Tony Ferguson and Max Griffin. But we have to admit that those two are better competition than the competition McGee has faced. I got Michael Chiesa winning. Now we have a fight I predicted before, but it was rescheduled, so I will say the same thing I said before. Rodolfo Bellato versus this free-ass win Paul Craig. Seriously, if Bellato loses, he is fucking trash, and nothing more needs to be said. Bellato for the win, trust me, bro. Heading to our first fight of the main card, we have Alonzo Menefield versus Umar Sy, and I'm going with Umar Sy. Menefield is pushing uncle status, and he has to face a 6'4" rangy undefeated fighter that does have some UFC experience. The only thing that troubles me is that Sy is a fucking Frenchman. And in the words of Brian Battle, do you think an American would lose in a fist fight to a Frenchman? Sadly, I think it will happen this time. Next we have Mansour Abdul Malik versus Cody Brundage. And I'm feeling a fucking murder by Malik. Just watching Malik's last fight versus Nick Klein, you could see that Malik is just strong as fuck. Not only that, he has 8 fights and 7 of them are knockouts. Meanwhile, Brundage is a pretty mid-fighter. Brundage is coming off a knockout win, however. The guy he knocked out was on a 3-fight knockout loss streak. Mansour Abdul Malik is for sure getting this done. Cody Garbrandt versus Raoni Barcelos is another weird matchup. Garbrandt is much younger, and we know his potential, but we can't lie that Barcelos looked hungry when he beat undefeated prospect Peyton Talbot. We must ask, does Garbrandt even have that dog in him anymore? Maybe, maybe not. To be honest though, I will believe in Garbrandt to beat this uncle. Next, we have Edmund Shabazian versus Andre Petroski. And can someone tell me how the fuck this fight is even on the main card? My god, it is like they want us to take a nap mid-main card. Anyway, these two fighters are pretty mid, and I wouldn't even bet on this shit because I think this is too 50-50. I'll just flip a fucking coin and say Andre Petrosky is going to win this. Let's see if I have good luck or not. For our co-main event, we have Rose Namajunas versus Miranda Maverick. Once again, not betting on this shit, but Namajunas is a previous champion, and she looks like she got that dog in her. Maverick does look like she got some shit up her sleeve though, man, I don't know. I'll trust the previous champ though. Finally, for our main event, we have Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. Man, am I excited, but also sad for this fight. The reason is because I have Joaquin Buckley beating Usman. Usman is one of the greatest fighters of all time, but man, the facts may hint that it is over for him. Usman is 38, hasn't fought since 2023, and has terrible knees. Meanwhile, we have Buckley, who I think is the hungriest welterweight contender that only keeps improving. I truly believe Buckley will show us another level to him, and people will start to realize that he will become champ one day. Joaquin Buckley will win this fight. Anyways, this is your boy Blunt MMA with some UFC fight predictions. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you all and stay safe.